So what I'm going to do now is talk about what does work when we are supporting people to create change. And what we know is that there are 4 things that we can do to support people going through change. One is about understanding people's current situation, which touches on Inga's point around recognition. One is around noticing how we communicate with others. Next is about how we let people choose to make their own decisions, so empowerment and autonomy. And also, how can we be patient when change is taking place, because we know it can be hard and have different feelings. As one of Inga's slides shows, it can be quite the difficult space when people are going through change. So the first is about how do we understand people's current situation. And this is a quote from Stephen Covey, which is about seek first to understand before being understood. So when we, as coaches or staff who are working with people, actually, what can we do to help understand and recognize the person's current situation and who they are before we start suggesting our own thoughts and opinions? So our first step is always to be curious and to help understand the other person and where they are. And one way we can do this is to ask people about their thoughts, their emotions, and their behaviours. And all of these are different, but are interlinked. And some people are kind of thinky people, some people are feeling people, and some people are doing people, or have a natural tendency for one or the others. So just by asking someone how they feel about eating well, or what do they think about eating well, actually can help you understand what it is that's important to them, or what their challenges are around it, or how you can support them better. So taking the time to ask people what they think, what they feel, and then what they can do is really helpful. And sometimes when we change our thoughts or our emotions, it can change what we do and how we behave. So understanding our emotions and our thoughts are really helpful to helping create that change happen. Another thing that we can do is notice our communication and how we talk to people. There is some theory called transactional analysis that looks at this and talks about everyone having 3 ego states, which is parent, adult, and child, which is the PAC on the side of this slide. So I'm sure we can all imagine a situation where we've been in, whether it's at work or at home, when someone's turned around to us and said, "Oh, don't do it that way. You need to do it this way." And again, what emotion or what feeling does that bring out when someone says that to you? I can imagine for a lot of us, that makes us kind of either go, well, I'm not going to do it that way, or we comply with like, oh, all right, we'll do that, but we don't feel great about it. And that's because our communication is from parent to child. So the parent is someone who's telling us what to do, and the child is either obliging because they feel they have to rather than because they want to, or they rebel against the order and the request. So it's not necessarily a healthy way to have a communication about supporting change. A different way to have that communication is think about how can we be adult to adult. And adult is about being in the moment, not being judgmental, and not imposing kind of our thoughts and views, but just saying something like, I'm noticing that, I'm noticing that you're drinking a lot of sugary drinks, and I'm wondering how you feel about that, or what you think about that. So you open the conversation up so that someone can explore their own thoughts and feelings about it. And you can then support them to a place of creating change if they want to. Which is the next thing. We want to support people to make their own choices. We all want to have our own autonomy and empowerment. We don't want to be told what to do. And how we can support people to make their own choices is we offer facts and information but we do it in a neutral and non-judgmental way. So it's not about telling, it's about sharing. And we create the space so that people can make their own decisions about what they do. And as we've heard before, that might be about, you know, how do they introduce one new piece of fruit or veg into their diet a week? That's their choice in terms of what they do and how they do it. But it's about also being there to support them when they make that choice and when they start to make that change. And also, as coaches, we need to be okay if they choose the option that we perhaps don't, we think an option that is different to what we think they should be using, because it's their choice at the end of the day. And we can continue to support and offer neutral facts and information. But at the end of the day, it's that person's choice to make that change. The next is about being patient. Change can be hard and it can take time and it can be difficult. And, you know, if we all think of a time when we've made our own change, I regularly try and cut down on the amount of chocolate that I eat. I regularly don't do this. I might start and then stop. And there's different reasons why change can take time and be difficult. Sometimes we know that we want to make a change, but we don't necessarily know how to do it or what way would work for us. So we've got the idea, but we don't know the behavior that we need to do. We may then actually have a plan. So, you know, my plan to cut down on chocolate is to not buy it at the supermarket, but I don't do it. I still go and buy the chocolate at the supermarket every time I go and shop. Or then maybe actually we start the plan, but we don't stick to it, which is where I am at the moment. So one week I might not buy the chocolate at the supermarket, but then the next week I will buy the chocolate at the supermarket because it's been a difficult week and there's been lots of meetings and I really deserve that chocolate. So, you know, I had good intentions, it didn't quite work. But then the next week I'm like, right, okay, I'll give it a go. So I think that just shows that change can take time and it can be difficult. So as coaches or individuals supporting others, our role is to support the person through that change and talk to them about what they're finding difficult or what they've tried that has worked or what they could do differently, so that we are supporting them with what they are doing. And I think